Hey everybody, welcome to Bad Dog and another one of your challenges. And this one is 2 truths and a lie. So what's going to happen is 3 of us are going to tell a story, 1 story each. 2 of them will be true and 1 is going to be a lie. And at the end of this, you can vote on who is telling the lie. So the stories won't be long, but well, going through them, I think they're all lies. But you know, hey, whatever, we are who we are. So anyway, Adam is going to go first, so you can decide if Adam's telling the truth or lying to you.
Well, I remember traveling to work, as some of you may know, that I used to work overseas in Angola, Africa. And I do remember this one certain morning we're traveling up towards our base, and we happened to notice that a big python snake had a gazelle wrapped up and it had it coiled up. So a few of us curious guys got off the bus and went over to look at it. Somebody decided to call the snake control, and like normal, the snakes over there, most of them are smaller, but obviously you do get your big rock pythons. And I remember these guys came out from the patrol and he had his little bucket. He's looking at me, he's looking at the snake, and he's looking at his bucket, and I looked over at him and said, you might need a bigger bucket, bud, because the snake was probably about 15, 16 feet long. It was a big snake.
Okay. That does seem like an awful big snake.
It was a big snake.
Okay. All right, guys, my turn. So, I talk about it around here a little bit, but there was a time in my life where I was a professional wrestler aspiring to be on TV. And I always talk about one of my characters, Jerry Martel, but there was another character that I had that I don't talk about as much, and it has to do with this story. So my other character was called Shadow. At times it was called Shadow of Death, but anyway, where this story goes, it ends up with me being banned in the state of Maine. I was down there in my masked character, and we were doing a death match. For those of you who don't know what a death match is, it involves a lot of weapons and blood and stuff like that. And we had a pane of glass that we thought would be a good idea to use. So we brought that out during the match. I picked up a guy who I was wrestling with, and I threw him through the pane of glass. And it kind of went wrong because it was propped up in the corner, and when it broke and came down and sheared off almost all of the skin on his forehead. It looked a lot more gruesome than it was, but he was bleeding everywhere, and somebody in the crowd panicked, called the police, and they came to charge me with assault. Now, because as many of you know, there is a show element to professional wrestling, I was never officially charged, but I was never welcomed back as a licensed professional wrestler in the state of Maine. Danny?
Wow. How do you top that? One time, actually, 1998 picture. Spring break 98.
Too much detail.
Daytona Beach. Hurricane hits. I swam half naked through an alley onto a street. We got kicked out of the bar we were in because the hurricane hit. I happened to find another bar. Mind you, I was 19 at the time. You had to be 21 to drink. Somebody offered me a beer in one of the other bars. I drank the beer. Next thing you know, I woke up. I was seeing all kinds of colors. Half my clothes were off. And I realized that bad things were happening inside the bar. I ran out of the bar, ran through an alley, and the water was like up to here. And it was so hard to walk through because it wasn't draining fast enough with the hurricane that I swam through the alley and poured onto the ground in front of the police. It was a good night. Spring break 98.
So everybody, that's our 3 stories. If you can tell which one's a lie, comment below. We will be back with a follow-up tomorrow explaining what stories were true and which ones were the lie.